Top 10 Best Historical Fiction Books to Read. The whole historical fiction has over readers is unparalleled. To the outside world, it may seem boring and dull to read stories that are based on the events of the past. But we readers know how entertaining and deeply touching such books can be. That is, of course, if you pick the right one. Despite common belief, historical fiction books are not boring. In fact, they can be highly informative as well as an epic read for a Saturday night. These books not only give a dose of reality, but the way the authors describe events can have you feeling profound sympathy and love for the characters. To top it off, the fact that the events actually happened only adds more to the entire reading experience. Personally, I love reading historical fiction, and today I will share with you some of the best books from this genre that also happen to be my favorite. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Links to the books are given in the description below. Number 10. Wolfhall by Hilary Mantel. Hilary Mantel is not an unfamiliar name. Everyone who loves reading has heard and seen the name of this author, as the woman is behind many remarkable books and has also secured multiple awards for her writing. The story of Wolfhall takes place in England in the 1520s when King Henry VI is desperate to have a male heir. Even if that means annulling his marriage of 20 years with Queen Catherine, the man is ready for it and to marry Anne Boleyn. But what stands in his way is not only the Pope but also most of Europe. So, when Thomas Cromwell comes into the picture after the departure of his old advisor Wolsey, the events that take place after Thomas' arrival at the Parliament and the court will have you glued to the book, I am sure. From the entire Catholic Church being against Thomas to the death of his mentor, will he be able to get King Henry what he desires, to marry Anne Boleyn? Number 9. The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. This American novelist has dedicated many years of his life to the field of writing. From historical fiction to a book of essays about his hometown, the man has written books of different genres. The Underground Railroad is one of the best works of Colson Whitehead that also got him awards and prizes. This book is about a slave, Cora, who works at a cotton plantation. Slavery is not the only pain of her life, as she is scorned by the rest of the slaves working alongside her. However, life starts to seem less bleak when she meets Caesar, and when he plans an escape with her through the Underground Railroad, Cora is all up for it. But when the situation forces her hands to commit the murder of a white boy, and she is constantly being hunted by a slave catcher, Cora has to decide between bidding farewell to her freedom or fighting tooth and nail for it. The words of Colson perfectly depict the horrors that slaves had to go through before the Civil War. This book is truly one of the greatest historical fiction, as it narrates the tale of all the horrors that fell upon African slaves. Number 8. A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Tools. Before we discuss a book, let me share a few words about the author. Amor Tools completed his master's in English at Stanford University. The man wrote his first book in 2011, and it was a bestseller in New York Times. A Gentleman in Moscow is another one of the best-selling books of Amor Tools. The book shares the story of Count Alexander Rostov, who wrote a poem that was not taken well by the people of the country, and the Count was sentenced to house arrest in 1922. When the man was locked in a room in a hotel metropole, some major events in the history of Russia are taking place. Being forced to remain inside the premises of his room and the hotel, Count Rostov goes through some major discoveries in his life. This historical fiction is full of lively characters, interesting situations, and the wits of Count Alexander, so you will enjoy it immensely. Number 7. Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This Harlem-based journalist and author finished her studies at Yale and is famous for her book Pachinko. Along with American topics, the woman has also written on many Korean topics and has received awards for her work. Pachinko is a historical fiction that shares the tale of a girl, Sunja, who falls for a fisherman who is older than her in age. The two decide to spend their life together, but her bubble bursts when she learns about her pregnancy, as well as the fact that her lover also has a wife. Instead of staying with him, she leaves him and accepts the proposal of marriage to a minister, and moves to Japan with him. However, the father of her son is a powerful man, and may be willing to let Sunja go, but not his son. The story of Sunja is the type that will not only have you glued to your seat, but will also have you hooked to the culture and the streets of Japan. Number 6. The Red Tent by Anita Diamond. The words of Anita Diamond hold a lot of power, The woman has a way of writing that can capture the attention of readers even on the first page. Her book, The Red Tent, is one of the best nonfiction books even today. The story of The Red Tent is about a woman named Dinah. She is only the daughter of Jacob and the only sister of 12 brothers. Her father Jacob is mentioned in the Bible for fighting off an angel, but Dinah is only mentioned briefly. This book is shared in Dinah's voice, and she shares the story of her life, as well as the lives of her mothers, the 4 wives of Jacob, who loved Dinah irrevocably. Being the only girl child of the family, every month Dinah enters the red tent with her mothers when they all are going through their menstrual cycles. The voice of Dinah shares everything from her life, including the travel journey to Canaan, and her starting to work as a midwife. Number 5. Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. We all have heard the name of Tracy Chevalier, thanks to her most famous book Girl with a Pearl Earring, which was also adapted into a film. But this remarkable British-American author has also written many other books that are read and loved across the globe. Girl with a Pearl Earring has the admiration of all of us millennials, courtesy of Scarlett Johansson for playing the lead, but the book is equally amazing, if not more. The story of this book takes place in the 17th century when a 16-year-old girl, Greet, starts working as a maid for the famous artist Johannes Vermeer. Shortly after, the girl captures the attention of the painter, and when Greet reciprocates his feelings, their relationship moves to another level. The story is narrated in Greet's voice, and the book focuses on how the painter has the girl model for him for his painting, leading to the famous painting of Vermeer, Girl with a Pearl Earring. The story of Vermeer and Greet is the perfect romantic tale from the 16th century that has the reader swooning. Despite having painted many other canvases, this painting of the artist is quite famous even today. Number 4. Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. After completing her degree from Stanford University, Yaa Gyasi started putting her pen to paper. She published her first book in 2016, which won her awards, and has written quite a few books since then. The reason her word holds so much power is that instead of weaving tales out of thin air, she brings the history of her ancestors to life with her unique way of writing. Homegoing is the first published book of the author that won her National Book Critics Circle's award for the best first book. The story of this book is about 2 half-sisters, Effia and Iside, who have very different life paths due to the fact that they were born in different parts of Ghana. Effia marries a nobleman, while Iside is sold as a slave and sent to America. The book then follows and shares the tales of the descendants of both half-sisters, one in Ghana and one in America. The way the author describes the striking difference between the lives of the successors of the 2 sisters, and the way their descendants find their way to each other, is truly amazing. Number 3. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Anthony Doerr is not an average off-the-shelf author. He is the brain behind 6 amazing books, and has also won multiple awards and prizes for his writing. The most famous work of this author is the one that we will discuss today. All the Light We Cannot See has to be one of my all-time favorite historical fiction books. A young girl, Marie, lives in Paris with her father, who works at the Museum of Natural History. When the Nazis invade and occupy Paris, the father-daughter duo escapes the city and moves to Saint Malo. Prior to escaping, the father of Marie is given a valuable jewel from his workplace for safekeeping. On the other side of the story, we have an orphan boy, Werner Fenning, who is highly skilled in fixing instruments and later joins the German army when he turns 16. Due to fate, Marie and Werner cross paths with each other, but it is not under good circumstances. As a superior officer of Werner becomes obsessed with finding all the jewels that were previously kept in the museum, he finds his way to the previous worker of the museum, the father of Marie. If you are expecting a soft romance between 2 young people, then put this book down immediately. This historical fiction will leave you sobbing, so do not say that I did not warn you. Number 2. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. From the People's Choice Award to the Best Historical Fiction Award, in all her years of writing, Kristen Hanna has won a wide number of prizes for her books. The Nightingale is one of the most famous books of Kristen. This book shares the story of 2 sisters living their lives through the Nazi invasion of France. As the 2 were separated years ago, even after their union during the Nazi invasion, there is a stark difference between their survival through the invasion. Vian is forced to live with the enemy and make tough decisions for the safety of herself and her children. On the other hand, after getting betrayed by her lover and enraged over the treatment Vian is receiving, Isabel joins the resistance against the Nazis, earning the code name of the Nightingale. The Nightingale shares the tale of how the two sisters survived the Nazi invasion in the Holocaust, as well as their services to their country during the time. This book is truly an eye-opener to the horrific events that took place during the Second World War. Number 1. Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Margaret Mitchell was one of the prime American journalists of her time. Even though the woman only wrote a single book in her life, that book is admired and loved in all parts of the world even today. Gone with the Wind was also adapted into a film, so if you are a fan of movies, you can enjoy this story in a film as well. For my reading fans, this story is not meant to be read during a busy day. The book shares the story of Scarlett O'Hara, who is the daughter of a wealthy man. However, due to a major turn of events, she finds herself in Atlanta after the birth of her son. As the Civil War progresses, Scarlett finds herself stuck in poverty where it is not even possible for her to find food, let alone clothing. However, the woman vows to fight tooth and nail and win her luxurious lifestyle back, no matter what the cost. In the middle of all of the poverty, she also finds herself right in the middle of a love triangle with Rhett Butler and Ashley Wilkes. Well, folks, these were all the books that have my heart in the genre of historical fiction. From wonderful tales to the captivating writing style of the authors, you will find some of the best books in the list that I just shared in the video. So if you are a reading fan, then you need to pick one book from this list and get to reading. If the video helped you find the next book you are going to read, then like and share this video. Let me know in comment section on what type of books I should cover in my next video. Also, if you read one of the books mentioned in this video, share your review or thoughts with us. Subscribe this channel for more such awesome videos. Thanks for watching.